A skipper who drowned off the Taranaki coast overnight was convicted of manslaughter last year following the death of a passenger on his boat who had not been wearing a life jacket. A passing boatie discovered Teiron Jones' wife clinging to his body 7k out to sea early this morning. He had not been wearing a life jacket. Our Taranaki reporter, Robin Martin, has more.
Waitara boatie Brian Kilminster says he and a fishing buddy came across Teiron Jones' 4-metre fiberglass boat at about 5:45 this morning.
We go out fishing and there's a boat sticking with his nose out of the water and this Filipino girl sitting on top of the boat and hanging on to him. And he was already dead. She reckons he'd been there all night.
Mr Kilminster says they comforted the woman but couldn't retrieve her partner's body until another boat arrived. He says it's not clear why the boat would have flipped in what were very calm conditions.
Flat as. Beautiful.
Yeah, calm as.
Safe as. Well, there you go. Safe sea. And that's what happens. One mistake. We don't know.
Was he wearing a life belt?
Nah, t-shirt and shorts.
In 2015, Hamilton man Urkutsu drowned when Teiron Jones' 4-metre inflatable capsized crossing the Waitara Bar. Mr Jones, who has a pre-existing brain injury, faced a charge of manslaughter, the first time it had been used for a breach of maritime rules. He was convicted and discharged and ordered to pay $5,000 in reparations to Mr Zhu's widow. There were no conditions on Mr Jones's use of boats. Rod Morati watched his first attempt to launch last night and wasn't impressed.
He couldn't back the bloody trailer down for a start. He was all over the place and he didn't back it out far enough in the water. Then he backed the car into the water and the boat was floating off by itself, so he had to walk way up to his waist to get the boat. Then he came back in, got this car, and he must have buggered off.
Mr Morati says it didn't appear Mr Jones was much of a fisherman. 82-year-old Lex Barnett was heading out for a fish with a buddy this morning. He says Mr Jones was a mate and would be missed.
Well, he's a friend of mine. He's a good joker, actually. Does a lot for the community. He's an entertainer.
Mr Barnett was also struggling to understand how Mr Jones could have got into trouble in such benign conditions.
We wouldn't expect anybody to get drowned in a sea like this. No life jackets, I suppose. I don't know. But it shouldn't have happened. It's too flat. I mean, God, you could paddle ashore with this sea. He must have flipped it or had an accident, hit a rock or something.
The police only released Mr Jones's name late this afternoon, but Mr Kilminster and many others at the marina this morning already had a hunch he was involved.
I think it's the guy they prosecuted for when the Chinese guy drowned on the bar.
Oh, no. Oh,
I think it was him. By all accounts, that's what they'd say.
Mr Kilminster has unpleasant memories about the last tragedy involving Mr Jones.
When the Chinese guy drowned, their life jackets, I'd seen them in the back of his car. Still in the plastic, not even taken out.
He says at least this time he did the right thing by his passenger.
She had one on, and she had what saved her, the life jacket, but the wetsuit, full body thin wetsuit. Once they get wet, they warm up your body, trap that heat inside.
The police say their inquiries into the drowning are ongoing and Mr Jones's death has been referred to the coroner. In Waitara for Checkpoint, Moti Hōtaka o Te Ahi Ahi, ko Robin Martin Aho.